G'day and welcome to the Hunting Connection podcast. My name is Zach Williams and I am your host. Here we'll connect you with hunters, fishers and outdoor enthusiasts from around the globe. This podcast will share hunting and fishing stories including past experiences and tackle the tough hunting stereotypes our community faces. We hope to be a positive influence to those outside the community while also having a laugh along the way. Hope you enjoy the podcast. G'day and welcome to another episode of Hunting Connection podcast. On this episode, I've got a very special one for you. I've got Brett Meldrum and Jasper Dulhunty. How you going?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, going good.
It's great to hear.
Good, mate. How you going?
Yeah, good. Good to have you back on the podcast, Brett. It just popped up on a memory that we're actually hunting together this time last year.
Oh, Cody's going for them pigs and that you never got.
Yeah, the magic pigs.
I heard about that.
Australia's heard about my luck with pigs. But no, it's a touchy subject for me, the old pigs.
But we're giving you the slip by the sound of it.
Oh, they do, and Cody's dirty on it too. I'm sure you would have heard all about that hunting with him this year. But yeah, we're not chatting about my hunting adventures today. We're chatting about your guys. But we'll quickly get to know Jasper because Brett's already been on the podcast. So if anyone that hasn't heard the episode with Brett, pause it now, jump back, go listen to that. But yeah, Brett's a pretty well-known figure in the Australian bow hunting scene these days. So, Jasper, how did you get into hunting?
Oh, I was fortunate enough to kind of grow up on a farm. Mum and Dad had a sheep property up on the Monero region near Coomber. So, yeah, growing up, I was just around guns and shooting and everything as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
From there, up at the farm, it was always, just chasing bunny rabbits and kind of culling pests and whatnot. There wasn't really any deer or anything around back then. Pigs were around, so occasionally you'd run into a mob of them spotlighting. But yeah, the deer weren't really a thing back then when I was growing up. And I guess, but for some reason, I've always been fascinated by deer. Always, as a kid growing up, Dad would have stories of kind of, chasing sambar and whatnot down in Vic and the occasional fallow or red that would walk through the property. And, yeah, I was always fascinated with deer, so it was just a given thing. As soon as I could get my licence, I was lucky enough to have a good mate in high school down here that was also mad keen on it. And yeah, we just got together as soon as we could get our licenses, and that was it. We never looked back.
That's awesome, man. That's so good. Yeah, I chat to people from all different backgrounds, and there seems to be like a lot of people getting into hunting in their 20s, 30s, and even early 40s. So it's always good chatting to someone that's grown up doing it. And yeah,
for me, I don't really know any better, to be honest.
No, that's awesome. So yeah, you two have both had massive years this year. Start off with Brett taking that monster red stag. Well, every red he takes seems to be a monster red stag, but
he's got a knack for it, the bugger.
Number one bow shot red stag in Australia, mate. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, pretty good. It took a long time to get him to that stage. Like, tried not to shoot him when I ran into him. So that was a pretty special moment doing that. So very proud of it.
So you've had a rich history with him. You've seen him around for a while, then.
I got trout cam photos when he was a baby.
Yeah, wow. So how
chased him for 3 years pretty much, and watching him grow and that, and it got to the point where it was time to have a crack at him.
That's crazy. I've seen some photos and heard Cody telling me all about it. What did he score in the end?
421 and 4/8.
That's insane.
If he gets done by ADA, he's just largest in Australia gun and rifle.
That's That's insane. That's so good. And just to have a bow hunter, you know, having number one above, you know, rifle hunters, that's just extraordinary.
They'll work hard, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Time in the bush.
Beautiful. And then you also had a... Oh, go on, Jasper.
He's an incredible animal, that one. I've seen him in person and held it, and just the weight in that head is it's mind-blowing.
I could imagine, you know, just feeling the head of the red that I shot, and that was, for me, massive. But, yeah, yours was almost double the size of...
yours was a massive stag, man. Like, hats off to it. That was a bloody cracker, that stag, eh?
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful head.
Oh, thanks to Cody. You know, he seems to be the man for it.
Likewise.
We're very fortunate with genetics in New South Wales, so we get some bloody amazing deer come through every year.
You do. And then you had a very heartwarming moment with Ian Fenton sending you a painting he did of your stag and yourself.
Oh, that friggin' blew me away. I was so godsmacked when I got home. Just saw the box on the front deck. It had then I saw the address on it, like where it come from. It said Ian Fenton. I'm like, fucking kidding me, aren't you? Like, Jesus Christ. And I took it inside, opened it up. It's pretty emotional moment. It was a great honour to have him do that. It really was.
I can bet, like, you know, going down there and meeting him and having a look at all his work and just sitting there chatting to him. And then when Cody and I showed him the photo of your red stag, just watching his eyes just like burst out of his head, and he just like, I have to meet this guy, like, get me in contact with him, get me a nice photo.
He's a great man. He's done so much for not just bow hunting, but hunting in general. Like, he truly is a pioneer, that bloke. He's take my hat off to him.
100%.
And he's also extremely talented with a paintbrush.
And
he
very
made my ugly mug look alright.
very, very humble as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Have you gotten the chance? You said that you were getting down there to meet him, and you were going to go take your boys down. Have you managed to get down there yet?
We'll probably do that in a week or so. I told him. The trip up to the territory just snuck up too friggin' quick on us. Like, getting all the farm sorted out and work and all that stuff, so I could leave. Just time got away, so I spoke to him about it, and he's all sweet. He goes, yeah, and he had his wife's birthday too, so it's pretty busy for him.
Yep.
So we'll make it happen in a week or two. We'll cruise over there and say good day.
Yeah, beautiful. They love the company, and Roma is a very sweet lady. You know, she'll absolutely love that you'll bring your if you bring your lads down there as well. She just loves all that company.
No, she's good. I've seen photos of like Bernie Solaris's kid and that, and yeah, she's good. She's a good egg.
Yeah, they both are. They're just down to earth, genuine people. So, Jasper, you had a really good year up at Cody's. I missed you by a week, you know, a few days.
Yeah, no, you snuck in before us, and you got the big fella just before we got there.
One that Cody teased us with a few photos of.
Yeah, he sent us the photos of your stag actually a couple of weeks out, and we were like, oh, that's a ripper. And then next thing you post a picture with him. So, yeah, congrats on getting him. He was a ripper animal, that one that you got.
Yeah, he was gorgeous.
Yeah, perler. So yeah, no, we had a just mad time there ourselves. We were there. It ended up being there for 4 days to get that stag of mine. We did about 60 odd kilometres on foot leading up to that animal. We had, I don't know, we probably would have seen 50 or 60 reds over those 4 days leading up to that. So it was a pretty action-packed hunt. We had Vernon with us as well. He was the poor bugger had a bit of a busted up hip, and he was hurting, but he stuck with us the whole hunt as well. So that was.
Yeah, I kind of pushed him a little bit.
Yeah, you did.
Like walking out at night. First night we did like 11K.
The first night we heard him actually. He had a pretty bad slip up walking out in the dark, and it set off his hip again pretty bad. But hats off to him. He stuck with us for the whole hunt, so that was very special to have him there with us. for the whole experience as well.
Doing a lot of filming for us and that, and I kept telling the car was just over the next ridge. Yeah, 4 ridges later, he's like, "Where's the freaking car?" "No, next ridge, you'll be right." So, yeah, like Jasper said, he stuck with us. That's Vernon from Southern Cross Distributors.
Okay, yep.
And Zero Tech and that. No, they're bloody good bloke.
No, that's awesome. It sounds like you put in a hell of a lot more on foot work to get your stag than I did.
Yeah, we heard you got it pretty easy.
Oh, man.
Not easy, but yeah.
Oh, I was very, very blessed. Yeah,
very fortunate.
The bad luck came after pulling the trigger on that one. You didn't happen to find my keys out in the paddock while you were...
We heard about that too. Yeah, your hard work started after you got your animal.
Did you get the good pack out that we got?
No. Oh, yeah, the truck. Yeah, the crane truck. It was beautiful.
Oh, that truck's just the best thing ever.
Oh, man. He's driving up the side of the hill and it's starting to slip sideways, and me and my mate have jumped out the truck, and that's when I reckon I've lost the keys. I reckon they've fallen out my pocket when we bailed out the truck, and Cody's just there like, "You pussies."
He was a madman behind the wheel of that thing, though.
He's a madman behind the wheel of anything.
Yeah, just a madman in general, but we love him.
100%. One of my mates who was with me on that hunt, he almost had an opportunity to shoot the stag that you shot. So very, very lucky
that was that photo, wasn't it, that Cody took on top of the ridge?
Yeah, skyline right above him just after he shot the spike. So
where I ended up shooting that stag was like just below that knob where the photo was taken.
Yeah, beautiful. So just on the other side.
Yeah, so he hadn't gone far. He was just hanging in that area, and
it's a pretty cool area in there, and Cody's very, very spoilt to have such amazing property around him. He works for it.
He's a top bloke to kind of be as generous as he is with it as well. So yeah, super appreciative of him to to have us out there for the week and hunt with us, and ultimately put us on that stag. So. Yeah, that was my first red stag on the deck. So I couldn't be happy with that animal for a first.
That's a bloody beautiful, beautiful red stag for a first deer. It's going to be a while before you top it.
I'd say so. But yeah, he ended up going 6x6, and what did we measure? About 38 inches or something like that on a rough measure.
38 by 39, I think he was.
Yeah. So
beautiful,
very, very respectable animal. I was super happy with that. Super stoked.
That's awesome. It's just the amount of hard work Cody puts into that area, and just the privilege that he's able to take friends out and help them get incredible animals is just mind-boggling. And
and he loves it. It's so cool to see him. Like, he just froths out as hard as we do every time an animal hits the deck.
Yeah, he sure does.
It was very, very good to have him along with that on that hunt with us, because he nearly missed it. He had some other stuff that was going on at home, but he managed to. He turned up in the morning. We weren't expecting him. He ended up turning up. He turned up at camp ready to go. Like, all right, let's do it. And that was the morning it all came together. So.
Yeah, he spent some time away from his family and working on the farm to, cater for all of us. So we're very, very thankful, Cody.
Yes, indeed.
But you fellas just got back from an even crazier trip. Tell us about that. What went into the planning of that? How long has it been on the cards for? I know it's been one of your top animals, Brett.
This is more Brett's lead up for this hunt. I was just a tag along, so we'll let Brett
First lifetime of planning,
build
that's
up
for sure.
this.
Yeah, buddy. I'll say, I've been I've taken it seriously for 13 years, wanting to go hunt banteng, and it's not cheap to go hunt banteng, and sort of saved up for probably 8 years, and then like shit comes up, you got to spend that money, you got to start again. So it took about 8 years, and things are pretty good these days, and got the money together and finally pulled the pin. Let's do it, because they're pretty much endangered in Indonesia where they're from, or extinct almost, like in a zoo there. So the price is just only going to get bigger and bigger. So then bugger it, I'm going. So got in touch with Benny Solaris at Silent Pursuits, and he sort of pointed me in the right direction, and I really appreciated that from him. And ended up hooking up with Steve at Walkabout Safaris up there, and I had a yarn with Jasper about it, and I said, I'm going. Buddy, I could get some sort out for you. We go hunt some buffalo and that for you as well, if you want to come around and carry a camera. And like me and Jasper, we do all our big hunts together. That's just what we do. And so I couldn't think of anyone better wanted to come with me. So we bloody saddled up and off we went, didn't we, mate?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, Brett gave me the call one day going, I've just booked in a banteng hunt in the NT, and I went, okay, that's cool. You need a cameraman? And yeah, it was pretty much locked in from there. They gave me a price for the buffalo. Obviously, it's a lot cheaper than the banteng, but it's still a reasonably considerable amount of money.
Yeah, nothing's cheap up there.
No, but, the opportunity to go up there and do a hunt with one of my best mates and just, have that opportunity was, you wouldn't say no to it. So, yeah, we locked it in and away we went.
She was a proper adventure on it, bloody, even just getting out there with ultralight aircraft and all sorts of stuff like that. And it turned out to be something I'll never forget, that's for sure. It was a pretty special place up there.
It was a territory experience through and through.
Oh, yeah,
it really was.
It was actually my 40th birthday.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's right.
Like,
the night that we flew into Darwin.
Yeah, we flew in on my actual 40th birthday. We landed in Darwin, and as you do, go to Mitchell Street, hit up Shenanigans, get on the piss a bit with all the young backpackers there, and made a questionable decision to go to another pub, but we bowed out on that pretty early. We'll leave that alone. And no, we had a good time, and it wasn't too dusty the next day, and we were very lucky.
Wow.
We were going to be picked up and driven up there, but Steve gave us the offer. He goes, shouted us a 5-seater Piper Saratoga aeroplane with Territory Air Services to fly us up there to the airstrip up on East Traditional Land. We jumped at that, didn't we? And hopped in ultralight and had a good flight. It was friggin' pretty steady flight. I thought it'd be awful. Jasper had a really good time.
I got to sit up the front with a pretty decent looking young pilot.
Yeah, she's a pretty thing, wasn't she?
But no, that was an unreal experience, like just flying out over the Coburg Peninsula. And it was about an hour flight. We kind of got up above the weather and had a super smooth flight in. Got to see the coastline.
Floodplains and everything from up there. And it was pretty special having a flight like that. And I was sitting in the back, facing backwards. That was a bit of an odd feeling in a plane, but I had all the leg room in the world I wanted. I just had no headroom. My head was up against the roof of the bloody thing. But
yeah, they had to pull out extra seats just to fit us in.
We had a bit of gear, camera gear. Friggin' hell, it adds up, eh? Like we had my cameras, Jasper's cameras, bloody bow case, rifle case, backpacks, this pack, styrofoam boxes to bring meat home in. We had all sorts of shit, didn't we?
Yeah.
All the things you need to go up there.
For a kind of ultralight pack set up for the trip, to fly up to Darwin, it ended up with still a lot of crap.
The fishing rods too and all that stuff.
Yeah, fishing rods and the whole shooting match.
Well worth it.
Did you have any dramas flying up there or flying back with any of the gear?
No, that all went very smoothly. Brett booked us with Qantas, and Qantas is very good with firearms and everything. There's just a like a dangerous goods form that you have to kind of submit just for the ammunition.
Yep.
I did that. That came back through within like an hour or something. It was basically instant. And you just give them that when you check in for the ammunition. The ammunition has to be separate to the gun, which I found out the hard way when we first rocked up to Sydney. I had the ammunition in there in the case with the rifle, and they said I had to separate it, so I put it in my camera box and put one of the lenses in the gun case, and that was sweet. So that was funny, kind of opening up the guns in the middle of the airport like that.
Oh, they're really understanding about it too. They were good with it, like
Yeah,
they wouldn't
they were,
with anyone else having in Qantas, from what I've heard. So
yeah. But yeah, apart from that, once you have that dangerous goods permit, it was all super smooth.
That's awesome. How long was the actual planning itself from when you booked the hunt, Brett, to when you guys went away?
just under a year, I
Them
think
was
it was.
yeah,
Was it a year? Maybe a year?
less than that.
Oh, was it? Actually, it was pretty full on, wasn't it? That's
We
just
kind of
how
locked it in like in December or something like that.
Oh, actually,
December
it's
or
only 6
January.
months.
Yeah,
6 months, sorry.
hasn't been
That's
that
how I
long
do
at
things.
all.
I just do it. If I want to do something, I just do it. I just get it locked in. Let's go.
Yeah.
Being a guided hunt, what type of planning had to go into it for both the years?
It was pretty straightforward, really. Like as far as us goes, obviously the main purpose was for Brett to get the banteng with the bow, so that was the primary focus. So the first couple of days we spent doing that, and then I was just once that kind of was happened, then it was my turn to go and chase a buffalo. But as far as planning leading up to it goes, everything was pretty straightforward, really. Like the outfit, the guide Steve, he has everything organised, and yeah, you just have to get yourself and your gear up there, and everything else is sorted out from then.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's like Steve made it easy. Like that's what he does for a living, I guess. It's just like getting ready is just basically your gear. Like just knowing what to take. Normally people take too much. When I went to the territory the other year, I bet he took way too much stuff. So I pretty much cut all my clothing in half, and just having your archery gear ready, make sure everything's sighted in, sharp broadheads, like, because you change up your setup a little bit if you're going after that, if you don't shoot two blades all the time. Because I only shoot the three blade tries, I also had to change my gear up a bit because I use just a Zot two blade for it. That was the only prep I really had to do, is make sure everything was tuned together, and yeah, that's pretty much it, eh?
Yeah, beautiful. Jasper, did you have to change much with your rifle?
Well, yeah, it all happened a bit last minute for me. So I don't know whether you know or not, but I'm now a journalist for Sporting Shooter magazine.
Oh, okay, awesome.
I
Congrats.
started doing some rifle testing and reviews and hunting stories for them kind of at the start of this year. I started. Anyway, as part of that, for this trip, I requested a particular rifle to take up that I thought would be well suited. And kind of a week out from the trip, I went up to the gun shop to pick up a couple of other test rifles, hoping that this one would be there, and it hadn't turned up. So I was kind of holding my breath that it would turn up in that week and that maybe I could pick it up on my way up to Sydney. Long story short, it never turned up. So the morning that I was actually leaving to drive up to Sydney, luckily I had another test rifle here, a Weatherby in a 300 Win Mag. That's like a full carbon stock, carbon wrap barrel and everything. So yeah, the morning that we were leaving, that rifle didn't turn up with a scope for the test. Like, we have to supply our own scope for that. So the morning of, I was swapping out one of my other Leica scopes off my deer rifle and putting it on that rifle, and then yeah, nothing was sighted in or anything. I bought a couple of boxes of ammo on my way up, and we ended up sighting it in up at camp.
Jesus.
The afternoon that we flew in.
So obviously camp's a little bit away from actual hunting grounds itself.
Yes. Yeah,
beautiful.
camp was, about a half hour to 45-minute drive each day from camp down to the hunting grounds.
Yeah, awesome. What grain projectile were you running?
So I bought the Hornady Precision Hunters, which are a 200 grain, which is kind of on the bigger end for the 300s.
Yep.
But yeah, we wanted like a copper bonded projectile or something along those lines with a decent bit of weight behind it.
Beautiful, and perform pretty well on a buff.
Yeah, well, it did the job pretty well. We're probably jumping ahead here a bit, but
a little bit.
yeah, it ended up we put 5 shots into that animal to put him down in the end, even though the first shot was a fatal one. He would have gone down with just that one shot, but the way that they run the operation up there and just the sheer size and mass of those animals, if you have a chance to put a follow-up shot in, you do it. Just try and speed up the process.
Yeah, that and African game, you just pump it till it drops.
Yeah, basically. So that was a whole new experience for me as well. I've never done big game hunting like that before. Yeah, so that was a bit eye-opening, but it all worked out well in the end.
That's awesome. We'll jump further into the hunt bit later. But Brett, how'd your hunt go down? How long into the hunt did you lay eyes on the banteng that you ended up taking, and how long did it take you to get him?
It should be about 3 o'clock, wasn't it?
Yeah, towards the end of the second day.
Day 2, towards the end of the day. First day I almost had one. Pretty glad High Power had different ideas about that because there's a bit of a smaller bull than one they ended up taking. But it's just up there you find the groups of banteng cows and young ones that have always got a few young bulls running with them. So you sort of try and skirt around them and not upset them a bit because for the size of them, they are so friggin' flighty. I describe them as like cows pretty much with a deer's brain in them. That's how I figured them to be. Like just how quick they react to noise, smell, whatever. Like they don't stop to look at what it was. They're friggin' gone. And you find all them old bulls away from all the main mobs, and they're sort of bedded up mainly in the paper barks they were and the rockier stuff. So we had a few chances. We saw some buff and we got close to them and stuff. It was pretty cool. And we assessed them like, right, that's not really what we're after, because I was pretty adamant on getting, it was a big one, but an old one. I wanted one that was proper, past his use by. And we ended up spooking up this other bull. It was a pretty handy bull, and that was my first proper stalk on him. It took about an hour because he he didn't sort of see us or smell us. He just heard something that got him off his feet. And yeah, that was pretty intense, because I don't wear shoes in the territory. Like, I wear my Crocs because it's so loud, and I might kick them off when I'm stalking and that. And it's pretty epic to stalk and like how switched on they are and the hot sun and all that sort of stuff. It got to a point where I was about 25 metres off him just standing there, and he had a pandanus blocking all his vitals. So I couldn't do nothing about it, just had to wait him out, and something else was sort of spooking him around a bit. So he decided to do a quick bolt behind the clump of bushes he was in front of, and as he did that, I drew back. So I said, right, that'd be 30. And I was just that fixated on the kill zone, my bubble, my pins, that I didn't even notice the horizontal branch, I just let rip on him. And the arrow just looked like it was just going for where it had to go. And next minute, the arrow went that way, then that way. Like it just went, hit that branch, it went clean left, hit another little tree, it went clean right. Didn't even touch him, and he was gone. So, I don't know, the way I am, it wasn't his day to die. If it was, everything could have been sweet, but it wasn't meant to be. So I accept that, and there's a bit of a shit, but it was awesome to get that.
Oh yeah, he threw his bow on the ground and everything.
Yeah, I did. I did throw. I tossed my bow away, and I'm like, fuck, I was a bit disappointed in myself. But at the end of the day, it wasn't meant to be that one, and it worked out better anyway. And then I had a few more stalks the next day, and it's just a lot of eyes and a lot of bulls getting put up, and I got to 20 metres off one bed, and we're just standing there. 20 metres, bloody releases on the D-lip. I'm just waiting for him to stand up. And then didn't even feel the wind turn around. And it just had this little swirl. And this bull, from being completely passed out, I could just see his eyes. His eyes were shut. And I wouldn't take the bedded shot because he was curved, like his face was facing me. So he was curved towards me, and their ribs just closed up like a shield.
Yeah.
When they're on that sort of angle, right? So I wasn't comfortable with that, even though it was all there, exposed. But at any rate, he bloody wind swirled, and he got on his feet in the full flat sprint that friggin' quick, and they did not stop to look back, did he? He just friggin' gone into nothing. So, and then had a look at some other bulls, and then we decided we'll keep pushing forward, and we ran into this big brown fella, bedded up. He sort of heard something, and he sort of got on his feet a bit, and then he decided to have a stretch and a bit of a walk. And yeah, I didn't know they had browsers too. He's browsing on a few young shrubs and that, and I decided I kicked the crocs off. Bloody followed him up, and yeah, got to 20 metres exactly off him. And yeah, just everything was blocked again because they were in the thick shit. And I just had to wait for him to shake his head or look the other way, and he finally did. But that gave me time to step back 1 metre, which opened everything up. Then he went to swipe his head at a mozzie or whatever, so that gave me a chance to draw. I drew back, everything was nice, comfortable, perfect, and they just put the arrow exactly where it had to go. And he sort of did a 60-metre loop sort of thing, and I just watched him the whole time, sort of followed him a bit, and he just pulled up, and it's all on camera and that was it. He died right there. It's just one arrow, merciful bloody death. It was really good how it worked out.
Amazing. Did you get a complete pass-through on him, or...?
Went in and I think it bounced back off the offside shoulder because it's sticking out about a third of the arrow after the hit. You can hear like perfect cracks. So I think it might have bounced back a bit, and then the arrow came out as he went on. He couldn't run. He'd go 10, 20 metres and he had to stop. Then he'd do again until he just got to this spot under this tree, which is nice. He died in the shade, so that's always good in that heat. And yeah, it's a weird moment, when he died. It was pretty upsetting in a way because all of our time of life, well over a decade, wanting it, and then it was just over, sort of thing. I was still full, excited, happy, and all that, but it hit different than other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
it was like a lifelong ambition, and it was just done.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very, very happy and pleased how it all went down.
That's awesome. How big was he? Is he because I don't know too much about.
We didn't throw tape on him, but there's photo comparisons and shit, and I've gotten a lot of messages from a few fellas who are experienced with him, and they're like, he's proper.
Number one banteng as well.
He might give a few things a nudge, apparently, from what I'm told. But anyway,
we'll
find out next month when I get the head back. We'll go and because we've got the Trophy Takers annual awards night next month in Albury. So the awards weekend, so I'll take him down there and we'll all have a few beers, tell the stories of how it happened while we're scoring him. So it'll be a good time.
And just take home all the trophies for every species. No, that's incredible, man. What was it like putting your hands on him? What's the skin texture like? Is it very similar to a cow, or is it?
Yeah, pretty similar. It's similar but harder. But he was freaking proper old. He was going brown to grey. He's just rough, you know what I mean? But no, it's very similar to cattle.
Yeah, beautiful.
But yeah, they're pretty thick hide. I'm nowhere near as thick as a buffalo. Working up towards the front end and shoulders, and the boss, where we call it up there, that was very thick. But I like to tell they're a hard ass animal, and the character, them grape rings in the horns, they just look next level. So.
And
there's everything I wanted.
How old was he? Do you roughly?
I don't know. I don't know how old they get. I haven't researched that. They reckon. Steve said they're born, they start off brown, they go dark, and when they're going backwards, they go brown.
Yeah, wow.
Because as they're reaching getting old, they get back that colour. That's what he said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's true. That's just what I was told. So don't hold that on me. But yeah, you could his teeth are worn down to shit and just full of scars and gnarly old bull. And everyone else has messaged me about it. He's a proper old bull.
That's awesome, man.
So, yeah, it was a great way to do it. And yeah, another thing. It's probably the last time I'll ever do it too. So.
Yeah, congratulations.
It's just a literal one-off of a lifetime thing. It is pretty much, unless you got a shitload of cash.
Yeah, win the lotto.
That'd be nice.
But I don't think that's going to happen with your luck when it comes to the game that you take.
You used up all your luck already.
You just got to be patient, let things walk.
Yeah, I need to learn that.
No, I just do it.
So. You've caped him out. You're taking head. Did you take any meat from him to give it a go? Yep, beautiful.
It took a big chunk of one back strap. Everyone up there, and a lot of people I spoke to, it's just shit. Just don't bother.
Yeah, no one rated it at all.
Yeah, and even the locals up there, local traditional owners, they were like, if it was buffalo, we'd take some, but not banteng. And but me and Jasper, like, and me especially, I want to eat everything I kill.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what it is. Like, I want to have something off that. And we took him and we ended up frying up a few like thin slivers of him. Like, he dipped in a bit of flour, whacked in some oil. Nothing wrong with it. Put salt and pepper on it. And it had pretty nice flavours. Very similar to beef to me. Like, I've had buffalo off my bull and cow that I shot, and I'd say the buff is a bit better. But yeah, I had no issue with it. And I'm actually trying to rattle my brain because it's frozen, because we didn't have a cool room there. We had to freeze it, and kind of just only get to defrost at one stage. So I'm trying to work out how much I'll portion the jerky, steaks like schnitzels or something, and I might even, because it's a fair lump, I might even keep a section for the slow cooker.
Yeah,
and see if like do a pulled banteng roll or mince it and do a banteng burger.
Oh,
I'll put a bit of pork fat in it or something. I'm thinking banteng burgers would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Banteng smash
really go wrong
burgers.
with a burger.
I think I might even do a catch cook sort of thing on the channel.
Yeah, beautiful.
And just, like the 3 different types I get off this one thing and see how it goes. I reckon it'd be pretty cool.
How good. And from your poster, was, what did you say, about a 6K walkout with the...
Yeah, 5 to 6K walk out of that freaking cape. I got excited. I caped him all the way past his pizzle.
Yep.
Because I don't know if I was going to do a pedestal wall mount or nothing. That's just how far back I take him. I was watching a bit of the clips that Jasper got before, actually. And I watched myself trying to stand up. It's pretty comical. And
you were hurting, that's for sure.
I actually, a few weeks before the trip, I herniated a disc in my back.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like, that's just perfect timing. So I've been so careful with it and that. And I'm like, I was just adamant and, to be honest, just an arrogant prick, because I'm like, I'm carrying this out. Like Steve said, like, I'll take the cape if you want, or the head, whatever. And I'm like, no, he's going on this frigging pack. Like, it actually fixed me. My back's fine now. I know what happens the next day if you just go hard all the way. So I just, was stopping and just leaning forward and leaning all the way back, like, stretching my lower back pretty well, and got to the road and I got disappointed in myself. We walked up the road a bit and I was just like, my legs were going and I could feel that cramp, and I'm like, I got to bitch it and drop the pack. I was pretty disappointed in myself. But pretty good effort to get it that far. And then
I gave you a bit of encouragement to put it down too, because I said we're 2 days into a 6-day trip. Like, don't wreck yourself this early on.
Put it down.
We got to the road and we did half a K up the road. That was a pretty good bloody effort as it was.
And then I decided we'll just, because Steve went ahead and to where the ute was, which is still, another couple of Ks from where we dropped it. Where we
like 3 or 4 Ks up the road.
About 10 Ks in, and I decided I'm not going to stop now, as I'm just going to lock up. So he dropped the bag and just started walking in the direction the ute was, and met him on the road coming back down to us after probably another hour of trekking.
Yeah.
Just to keep the muscles loose, and that I didn't want them, because we did a big walk that first day, and I lay down and locked up on me a bit. And but no, there's well worth the pack out. James Dooms has messaged me and asked and said, why didn't you just friggin' drive the ute to it? Like, you couldn't get the ute.
There's no driving the ute up to it there.
No, you wouldn't have got anything nearer than because we did big walks. We had 20K a day.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
It was pretty cool. Like, a lot of people talk about hunting the NT, that you just drive around and spot them from the car and then put a stalking on them. But no, we parked the car at the start of the day and we weren't getting back to the ute till dark at the end of the day.
We did not see anything from the ute the whole time we were there. Me and Steve went to do a water run and we saw one buff on the road. That was in the whole time we were there. That's all the only animal we've seen for the road.
That's awesome. Did you get on some pigs up there as well, or?
No, bloody, that was a weird thing. Like, you could see where they've been, and we walked some lookable country up creeks and that. And when we were pursuing Jasper's buff, running along, there was 2 pigs next to us on the floodplain, but they weren't anything to write home about. I don't even think they were balls either. That's all we saw. I saw 2 pigs. That's it.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, I was kind of hoping we'd be getting into a few big balls, but it is what it is.
Yeah, like I said, you used up all your luck on him.
Still got plenty left.
All right, so you got the banteng back to the ute. What happened from there?
I can't remember, to be honest. I was on such a bloody high.
From there, it was basically get back to camp, and then the hard work starts.
That's it. Oh, we ran into one of the other guides that is like one of the contractor guides over there. Ran into him, and their clients, they managed to shoot a nice banteng and buff, I believe, and had a yarn with them and exchanged a bit of, a few stories and that. Then drove down, found the backpack, got the banteng, and back to camp, and basically straight into caping.
What type of temperatures were you running up there?
30 during the day. The night time wasn't bad. It was like 20, but 22, but because we're on the ocean, we had sea breeze.
Yeah.
There's always like a pretty constant wind, but when the wind wasn't there, it was friggin' hot.
Lots of Aussies up there as well?
For 1 hour. Just that last flight and the bloody sandflies. I'm still friggin' scratching myself. Those midgies, eh?
Yeah, we got smashed there. One arvo, actually, we drove. Anyway, that's a separate story, but we went and said g'day to another kind of outfitter that's over there, and just when we jumped out of the ute there, we just got absolutely mauled by them.
Hammered.
Apart from that, it wasn't too bad for the mozzies and midgies. Like, it was manageable.
Yeah, they're a bastard, and we were just chatting offline about Snake Island, the sandflies down there, or the march flies, whatever you want to call them. They just eat you alive. As soon as that breeze goes away, they just land on you and start feeding on you.
Yeah, that's midgie country down in that part of the world.
I don't have that problem here off the coast. 5 hours inland.
Nah, sand and midgies. Brett wasn't quite sure what to do with himself.
I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. There's no hills or nothing.
So had cleaning the Cape out go, did you do that all yourself, or did you sit back and let the guide do it? Because it was, being a guided hunt?
No, bloody, we both got stuck in and caped him out. Down in the paddock, and while he was caping out, like, we took the face off and everything while we were out there, and I wasn't going to do the eyes or the nose or turn the ears. I've had one go at it. Jasper trusted me with his red stag doing the ears, and I can cape off the face without an issue. I've just never tried turning. It's something I've got to learn. And anyway, so we let him do that while we just got all the extra bits of flesh off and that. Went back over the whole hide and got it really nice and clean. And by the time we got that done, Steve was pretty much done turning. And then we just salted him right up. Well, gave him a good wash, and then salted him down.
Straight in the ocean, wash in the ocean in the salt water, or?
Yeah, that'd probably work, eh? You could probably brine them overnight in the ocean. Is that friggin' salty? But then you don't have a Crocs on to swim by and take it or not. But no, we just gurneyed it off pretty much. We had these tables all set up on an angle so the moisture would come off, and had these shade cloths that we set out. Laid the capes down and salted them there. Put 3 bags of salt on it. So there's a fair sized cape.
Oh, I could imagine. It looked like you had a pretty good camp there. What was it, like eco hut tent things?
Yeah, I like these Aussie eco tents. He has 2 of them out there with a toilet and shower block sitting behind him, and he's got water plumbed in there. Good pressure water, actually.
It wasn't on it.
Yeah, it was really good pressure water, better than the hotel in Darwin.
That was pretty shocking, wasn't it?
So yeah, that was good. While we were out there, it was still all cold water, but he was having a Sparky come out the following week and hooking up 240 power and little hot water systems for each of the pods and whatnot.
Insane. Sounds like he's definitely catering for that American crowd, making it nice and comfortable.
That's kind of his big market is the American crowd, and we were talking to him a fair bit about that. He said, that's where the big money is.
No, that's amazing.
I think he was pretty happy to have a couple of Aussies out there, like you were asking with the capes and that. As far as a guided hunt, he said normally the Americans will just sit back on the deck and have drinks while he does all the hard work. So, there is that option to do that, but yeah, we're not about that. We like to jump in, get our hands dirty as well. So we did that and we helped him out with everything. And I think we sat there and it wasn't about till midnight till we finally had dinner and a couple of beers and headed for bed.
Yeah, that was a big day.
Yeah, very big day, that one.
Bloody well worth it.
That's crazy. So yeah, next day kicks off. What was the plans there to go chase your buffalo or?
Not quite. We decided, because that was on day 2 and we had 6 days up there. And, being like a midnight finish and everything, we kind of made the unanimous call to have a bit of a rest day and a play day, you'd call it, which that was super enjoyable. So, yeah, I had a bit of a sleep in and lazy breakfast and whatnot. We went down and did a bit of fishing off the rocks around camp, just land-based. Got a nice queenie on the fly and Brett got a coral trout.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Then, he went out mud crabbing.
Yeah, and then he took us down. We had to wait for the low tide, which was a bit after lunch, and he took us down to a couple of spots on the coastline with mangroves and that to start with. Do like some kind of traditional style mud crabbing, which was, spotting them sitting on these holes, and then you'd sneak up on them and either try and stab them with a spear, or if they went down the holes, then he had like this kind of rudimentary wire hook bent up that you'd poke that down there and try and kind of get a grip on them and pull them out.
That's awesome. That's good. So good. So you had a good cook up then of some seafood while you're up there.
Yeah. So yeah, Brett
cracking oysters as well.
Yeah, down on the low tide. Different oysters up there, but geez, they're pretty tasty.
Oh, they're friggin' huge too, weren't
they? Yeah, giant oysters.
I was pretty spoiled, I'll tell you that. I don't get that sort of food up where I am, so that was a bloody epic experience.
Yeah, you got to spear a mud crab.
Yeah, that was a good fun, that day.
That was your first time doing that kind of thing. Yeah. I'm a bit spoilt down where I am. We've got mud crabs and blue swimmers, so I get that a fair bit, but it's still an adventure doing it up there. It's all a bit different. And then, we did that, and then we took us down to a little creek system a few K from camp and spent the afternoon on the creek just catching barras and jacks and bloody cods and whatnot. And then, so that was pretty mad. I got quite a nice barra on the fly, and Brett got a good jack. The guide had got a few jacks as well. So we had barra and jacks that night on the coals along with the mud crabs.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Did you ever think to take a bow fishing setup up there with you and try and get some rays or some sharks in the shallows, Brett?
I was told to, but I just packing it just takes up so much more. I got to take down recurve my bow fishing bow that I have, but I had it pretty loaded up because I put like extra shoes in the bow case and all that shit, and there's tripods in there and that. So we saw one ray, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, at the beach. We only saw one ray, so probably wouldn't have been too worth the extra packing it all over the place. But if there's a bit more game, Rich, I probably would have. But
yeah, it's a real, like, going up there, especially that it's, it was just predominantly a hunting trip. You really got to think hard about what you can afford to take. So as it was, as far as fishing gear goes, here I spent a night in the shed looking at all my rods, going, I could use that, and in the end, you just got to go, no, just take the bare minimum, really. So I ended up taking up 2 fly rods, a 7 and a 9 weight, and that covered everything that I wanted to do really well. And Brett took a bait caster outfit up there, which served him well.
And lost everything else.
Lost all your lures.
Lost all my leaders, my lures. We retrieved 2 lures on a low tide. I had the shooters run, like snapping off everywhere. But I did catch some of my first ever saltwater species that I've never dreamed of catching, like a big brass trevally and that off the beach, and a little GT and stuff.
That was like the first 5 minutes of being there. We got to camp and we were unpacking in the cabin and everything, and Brett decides to stroll down and just throw a couple of casts out, and next thing he's yelling and screaming at me to bring the camera down.
Bring a camera! I'm on!
He's buckled over on this big brass trevally.
That was epic, eh? We only catch like Murray cod around here, and like they don't fight super good, and having one of these things ripping drag out of it, I was like, it was freaking incredible, eh? I was so happy. That was good.
That's awesome. It sounds like you're in a real fishing, hunting hotspot. I've heard great things about that area.
It's an adventure playground, really. is the best way to put it. But yeah, that was kind of a wrap up on that third day that we were there. And then, yeah, the fourth day is when we pushed out onto the floodplain.
That was epic.
So yeah, that was a pretty incredible experience. So the first 2 days chasing the banteng and the buffalo kind of inhabit, even though they're kind of right next to each other, they inhabit very different areas. So the banteng kind of up in the dry paper bark and dried up swamps and stuff. They don't like getting their feet wet, supposedly. So
yeah,
they were right up in that kind of high scrub. So the first 2 days we didn't see a buffalo. We didn't get eyes on the floodplain, even though we're only a few k's from it, and just dry, hot, like dried mud, a lot of rock and stuff in that country. Dry, hot bush. So that's all we saw for the first few days. And then that fourth day we drove down to the floodplain, and getting to the floodplain was just incredible. It's like you pop out this little paper bark forest and it's just this green oasis that stretches nearly to the horizon. And it's just this dead flat green pan, and it's just covered. There's just buffalo dotted all throughout it. Something like out of the bloody documentary that you'd see just about.
That's awesome.
Little magpie geese and bloody jabberoos and everything. Just pretty
flocks of white
place.
birds flying across, and everything you'd imagine the territory floodplain to be. That's what it was there.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Pretty cool vehicle too, didn't we?
Yeah, so Steve has this Argo buggy up there, like an 8-wheel drive, an amphibious buggy. So we all loaded into that, and there's actually an island that's in the middle of the floodplain, and the plan for the day was to push out across the island and spend a day walking it. He kind of said there's banteng out there and buffalo and a couple of other animals that he knew of that were target animals. So we were going to push across to the island in this buggy and hunt there the day. But, getting down to the floodplain, straight from the car, we could see buffalo, just herds of them scattered all over this floodplain. So we kind of loaded up the Argo and started pushing across, and on our way across we were just glassing through the herds, looking at bulls and stuff, and we probably saw 3 or 4 bulls that were, potential shooters. We actually had one, that was pretty funny. We had one that he was kind of over towards a bit of a river system that runs through the floodplain, and he was maybe 300 or 400 metres out, and Steve wanted to get him a bit closer look at him. So we sent the drone up. We couldn't go over there in the buggy, so we sent the drone up and we mustered him back around towards us.
So we brought him straight back past us, didn't we?
Yeah. So we've got endless footage of just harassing this poor buffalo bull with the drone.
That's
it worked,
cool.
bud.
It worked, but that was pretty comical.
So
watching this buffalo.
What were you looking for in a buff? You said that there was a few there that weren't quite what you were looking for and what you wanted to take. What is it you were looking for?
So personally, like I'd never really even seen buffalo in person before or whatever. So I didn't have my heart set on anything in particular. I just wanted a good mature animal. Obviously Steve knew what he was looking for a bit better, and he was actually really good with us. Like, he didn't try and push us towards a kind of younger animal at any point during the hunt. He worked really hard to try and find a proper one for us, which was cool.
That's awesome.
So we ended up, anyway, we had to play around with that big old bull that we pushed around a bit. And then there was a kind of another couple of herds that we glassed up. And in one of those herds, there were 2 bulls. And as soon as we put glass on them, you could see our guide's face even light up. And you knew that was a proper one.
You were on. Yeah.
I put the scope up, and when you first see a buffalo for the first time, every buffalo looks like a big animal, to be honest. But when I put the scope up on this bull, it was like, he's a proper one. He's considerably bigger than anything else that we've seen up to that point. And he was standing there in the middle of his herd. He had his head up. He was throwing his horns around.
He's acting
And,
very dominant, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, and you could
He's
just
acting very
see
dominant bull.
these horns just pushing out from either side. And yeah, as soon as we put glass up on him, even if you don't know what you're looking for, it was like that. Yeah, that's a proper one.
He measured, you measure him by their ears, how many times their ear would go, the horn sort of, and you could tell he was well over 3 years long. So that's that's when he proper bulls to go after.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's kind of what
He's proper dominant bull.
Steve, our guide, kind of said, like, as a rough guide, if you kind of go like 3 years long, that's a kind of benchmark for a pretty decent animal.
So that's kind of like the benchmark for something. And it's Douglas points they measure them in, and what is it? 100 Douglas points is
hundreds of trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, yeah, a trophy kind of starts from even 100, from 90, but 100 is like a benchmark for a proper one.
That's awesome. So you've watched him for a bit, and
yeah, so we glassed him up from the Argo, and he was about half a K from us at that point, which looks deceiving out there, or distances are deceiving, just because it's so flat and they're such a big animal. When you're used to looking at deer and stuff, you kind of, I thought maybe like 300, and you put the range finder on him, and he's 500 out. Anyway, so we kind of got out, pulled up, and the wind was in our favour. And yeah, basically out there's nothing too technical or finesse about the stalk. It's just you keeping a straight line towards them and kind of keep your head down a little bit, and yeah, you just make a beeline for him.
Just run at him, my style.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, basically a rambush. Yeah, Steve kind of said that out there in the middle of the floodplain is where they are the most comfortable. Even though they're kind of exposed and out in the open, you'd think they'd be flied a bit. No, that's where they're at home. So you can get away with kind of pushing them a little bit. And yeah, so we kind of took off after this bull, and the first, I don't know, half a K or so, we kind of were up on the bit of a dry ground in the middle of the floodplain, and he was with another herd, and a few of the animals kind of got the sense something was up. They kind of spotted us, and they started moving away from us. And yeah, in buffalo fashion out there, they're kind of slow trot is like a fast run for us. So yeah, we ended up, after that, we kind of got into a bit wetter section of the swamp, and we're kind of shin deep marsh, trying to push through in 30-degree heat. And yeah, we ended up being about 1.3 K from the buggy when we finally got presented a shot. Yeah, we wanted
one you could take.
Yeah,
the amount of times we pulled up and I wouldn't let him shoot because I was trying to get the camera on him, right? Yeah. And every time I'm like, yep, but he boom, we're off again. Yeah. That's like 6 times or something that happened.
It was hard.
He dropped his rangefinder. Lucky I nearly tripped over that. So I picked that up, and the camera mount was coming loose and shit was flopping everywhere.
Oh,
it was good fun.
There's mud flying up all over us as we're trying to run through, and it was madness. Nothing finesse about it, but bloody good fun.
Oh, bloody oath it was,
proper effort too. So yeah, you kind of, once they started moving a bit, they'd kind of move, and then they'd stop and they'd look back a bit, and every time they'd kind of stop, our guide would have shooting sticks, and he'd put them up, and I'd be straight on the shooting sticks, on the bull, if he turned a good broadside shot. And the first time that happened, actually, he gave us a broadside, and I don't know what happened, but somehow I didn't fully cycle around in, or it didn't pick up from the magazine when I cycled, and I went click.
And I'm like, fuck.
So that was it.
I know that feeling. I had the same thing happen on my red deer. Just a dud round, and first shot, click.
Yes. Your heart sinks for a moment when that happens. But so that happened, and then every time following for about 5 or 6 times, you'd kind of run 50, 100 meters after him, and then they'd stop and you'd be straight on the shooting sticks, and a cow'd be broadside or another one would be broadside, or he'd be broadside and then a cow's in front of him. And yeah, it took about the sixth time or so that it happened. He gave us an open broadside and I sent one straight into the shoulder, and yeah, that hurt him. That hurt him pretty bad.
That's awesome. What type of distance were you?
About 150, 200, that kind of range.
Yeah, beautiful.
And that was like from that initial point that we got to within kind of 200 of them, we kind of stayed at that 200 for the rest of the hunt. They just kept moving, and we just kept moving, trying to keep up with them.
And you said you put a couple rounds into him. When he finally dropped, what was it like walking up on such a big animal? Because they're a bit bigger than banteng, aren't they? So
yeah,
his bodies are much for muchness in height, and that, but the horns are freaking massive on those things. Their necks are just bulk.
Yeah, we put that first shot in, and that hurt him. Our guide said, "Yeah, that's a good shot." He was real happy with it. But then we had a few more kind of chances to put follow-up shots in him, so I did that and put some, I think 5 shots in the end, and they were all right in the engine room in the right spot. So it ended up pulling him up fairly quickly. He didn't go too far from that first shot.
And hurt him, mate.
Yeah, and he ended up falling over in the water with one horn completely in the water and the other one sticking out. And we walked up on him, and it was a pretty surreal feeling, really. Huge animal, like. You see them from a distance, and you know they're big, but not till you're actually standing there next to him that you realise just how big he is, and the horns too. They were just. Yeah, you walk up and it's like, wow, that's a proper one.
There's nothing like walking up on your first buffet.
Yeah. That was
really appreciation for the size of the frigging things and the power they've got.
Oh, yeah, huge animals and just muscle and dense and everything about them.
Everything's hard, just tough.
Yeah, just solid.
I can imagine. Did you end up keeping him out, and you're going to get a mount of him?
So we walked up. We kind of just made sure that he was fully expired and everything, and had a quick look at him, and let the adrenaline and everything and the heart rate die down a bit, because adrenaline was going, the heart was going, it was sweating down our backs from the hunt. It was all going on. Even the shots I took, I'm surprised I did as good a shots as I did, because my heart was going so hard. You kind of wobbling all over the place on the shooting sticks. But we ended up making it work. But so we got him, let everything settled down, and we walked back and got the Argo and drove it right up to him, which was a bit of a luxury. And that let us we left the packs and everything in the Argo when we initially jumped out. So I went and got everything and all the camera gear, and came back and did all the obligatory photos and videos, etc. As you do. Even just moving him around to set him up for a photo. It's like it was a 3-person effort.
That's insane.
Just crazy. So we did all that, caped him out, took the back straps off him, and then by then it was kind of 12 o'clock or so, and Steve kind of wanted to get the cape back to the ute so we could get it sorted out. So, we pretty much packed up the buggy, and even moving the thing, like it's a 3-person job to move the head and the cape. Like one either side on the horns, and then one moving the cape itself around. And
it's amazing how much bigger it was on the floodplain. Like my buff was in central Arnhem Land. It's a lot harder ground, like rocky, sort of almost like banteng country, it looks like. It's just a size difference. I'm saying it's grown up on a floodplain and the harder stuff. Just chalk and cheese is just like a different species of buffet.
Yeah, crazy.
Just so much bigger and more built and just muscle dense.
Yeah, you would have to be walking through all that mud constantly, and if you walk through it every day, your legs would be just.
It's just like our mountain balls going up and down hills all day.
It's amazing how easily they can move across that country.
Have you seen the videos of them actually swimming underwater?
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's nuts, eh?
They're like a
Imagine you're
submarine.
in the water and one of them.
It doesn't
fucking
look right.
down. It looks so wrong, eh? It's like
Yeah.
looks like a hippopotamus or something under there.
Yeah. But they do it so effortlessly too.
Oh, it'd freak the fuck out of you if you went down to, the water's edge and a buffalo pops out.
They don't look like they should be able to swim over, do they?
Nah.
No, they don't.
They're good at it, but
So
Yeah, so
you got it back to the buggy and went back. How'd you go? Same sort of similar setup. Like you go back and you're just defleshing it while he turned all the ears and eyes and.
yeah, basically. So, on the way back too in the buggy, we we come across, there was one little bog hole that kind of just too much mud and not enough water for the Argo. And Brett actually had to get out and push it on the way across initially.
he's a big fella.
And yeah, so he jumped out and had to push this buggy through this little bit of a bog hole. And then right next to that was quite a puddle, really. And heading back, we're coming through the same spot, and Brett picked it up and he goes, "Oh yeah, what's that?" And there's about a 2.5 metre croc sitting in this puddle.
Yeah, he probably come back there. Look, his big in the water again. I'll bloody have a crack at him this time. It was over knee deep when I was pushing. And I'm just looking around going, this is so sketch. And then, he sort of like swam past us. And he turned around and just come back. It's just perfect sight. Just had us in his peripheral looking. I'm like, you crafty prick, you're probably there the whole time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
For a snack, mobile snacks.
Oh, I would have put up a fight, but I would have made it hard for him.
I reckon I would have my money on Brett for that one. I've heard some stories.
Oh, yeah.
So leave them to your imagination, mate. We won't share those here.
No, not at all. But yeah, that was going to be one of my next questions. Was did you guys encounter many crocs other than him?
So that one was about the only one we saw while we were up there. Apart from
besides Crayhill's coming home, that was it, eh?
Yeah. There's about 1,000 of them at Cahill's Crossing, but up there, that was the only one that we actually laid eyes on.
That's sort of like the only dirty water that we sort of got involved with. All the the coastal stuff, it was just crystal clear. Like, yes, it's not recommended to swim, but your vision was like 100 metres round. And the creek we fished, like when the tide turned and rushed in, it did murk up a bit, but we're sort of on the mouth of it. But we're always very croc conscious while we were up there.
Mm.
That Cahill's Crossing, was that where that video circulating the other day?
That happened while we were up there, but not at the crossing, but while we were up in camp, eh?
That's crazy. Yeah,
I mate drove over a big croc or whatever, got stuck under his car.
Yeah, I was seeing the comments on that, and people were like, "Oh, he lined that up on purpose." I'm like, he wouldn't have been able to see it from his.
That water is no visibility whatsoever. Plus, the water was running. He had no chance of seeing that croc.
That's crazy. It'd freak the shit out of you. You're like, I'm not getting out to get that out.
No, that's the last spot you stop to get out and have a look under the car to think, oh, what the hell is that? I picked the stick up. You just keep going. You don't stop.
Oh, it would freak the shit out of you. Like you didn't grab onto the car, flatten the tyres.
Yeah, no.
He was a big croc too, wasn't he?
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
He was a big bastard under there. Anyway.
So yeah, you pushed through the croc bog there and went back to camp and caped out.
Yeah, back to camp. We kind of got back to camp in a respectable hour that day, and same thing again. We helped clean up the cape while Steve turned the nose and the ears.
Had to score out the buffalo too. Jasper had to score it out because the hides are so thick. You got to get that salt really all the way in on them.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can't do like a checker scoring kind of thing, like, I don't know, 50 or 75 mil kind of squares all across the thick parts of the cape on the shoulders and the neck.
So almost like when you're doing like pork crackling, you score score it and rub it in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you got to, because
Exactly
you
like
got to get
that.
the salt right in there.
Yeah, crazy.
Because that hide in them thicker sections, it'd be 20, 25 mil thick
Easy.
easily.
That's insane.
So, yeah, probably more. So you kind of try and actually cut in like 15, 20 mil deep so you can get that salt right in. And that in itself took me bloody an hour or an hour and a half to do.
Yeah, full fair bit of sweat too. I was sitting there
Yeah,
trying to have a beer, and you're there friggin' sweating.
yeah, elbow grease.
Oh, that's so good. So what did you get up to for the rest of your time? Because you still got, what, a day and a half-ish?
Yeah, so that was pretty much a wrap up. It was dark by the time we finished with that buff, and had dinner and beers and celebratory whiskies.
Got peanut butter whiskey.
Whoa.
Yep.
I forgot the name of that one. Do you remember?
No, it wasn't the normal one that we get, the sheepdog. It was a different one.
Pretty nice, but
Yeah, that went down pretty smoothly. But no, and then the last full day we had there was kind of much the same as that other play day.
That's awesome.
We just took the option to kind of have a pretty lazy morning again, and yeah, did kind of the same thing. Went down to the creeks and did a bit of fishing and that. Oh, and actually, there's another bloody story that comes.
We're going to tell this one. There you go.
Yeah, so we're cruising down to this creek again, and you're kind of driving along the coastline, and our guide picks up down on the mud flats. He goes, "There's bloody people down there." We didn't think that much of it initially, and then he gets a bit closer and he goes, "They're illegal Indo fishos."
Bloody 4 of them.
Like, what? And sure enough, there's 4 of these blokes, and as soon as they saw the car, they were hightailing off the mud flats.
Ran straight across the bloody creek, probably full of friggin' crocodiles in it. Madness, eh?
Disappeared straight up into the mangroves. And,
so what, they're out there on the flats trying to catch mud crabs or something, or
cucumbers.
Okay.
The sea cucumbers is the biggest kind of.
It's like a big black market sort of for them in Indonesia and that.
Yeah.
Like Papua New Guinea and Timor, all of that area and stuff. And that's what they were doing, and until we interrupted them.
Yeah. So
they had a big drum with them and everything, didn't they?
Yeah, it was like a big chemical drum that was cleaned out with the top cut open as kind of a flat, and they left it out on the mud flat. So Brett and Steve stayed with the ute, and I walked out and got the drum to see what they were doing, and yeah, sure enough, she's full of these sea cucumbers and mud crabs. So we dragged it back to the ute, and then Steve was pretty on.
Jasper let go all the cucumbers. You threw all them back out there.
You can keep them; they don't look too appetising.
But the mud crabs come home.
Yeah, back to their rightful owners.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's insane.
We went back to the camp to get reception and got in touch with Border Force. They've got a pretty prominent kind of presence up there. And, yeah, we told them what we'd seen and the coordinates of the creek mouth that they kind of disappeared into, and Steve kind of suspected that they'd have a boat or so stashed up the creek. And, yeah, we let them all know that, and we went back down to the creek, and within half an hour the Border Force plane was flying overhead, and they did about 4 or 5 flybys up and down the creek, like real low. And then, yeah, we did our day fishing and that, and we got back to camp, and they tried calling our guide again, saying, yeah, they picked up, or they spotted 2 boats stashed up in the mangroves in the creek, and they were sending the Navy ship over that night on the high tide to pick them up.
Jesus.
Yeah, no messing around, eh?
No, they were really onto it, which was actually really cool to see. But
from hunting hunting ferals to hunting immigrants.
Yeah.
They're a real problem, eh? They're a real problem up there. And you don't know, you got little hunting camps set up along the coast, and buddy, they could just sneak in when you're not there and steal all your shit and that. So
Mm.
It is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be
you
real
think
scary.
You think you're in the middle of nowhere up there, but yeah, there's there's these
Everywhere we
dudes
went, he
that,
locked the car and everything, didn't he?
yeah, lock cars, has like
Take
a
keys of you.
big container that's secured into the ground, and it's all proper locked up and everything, and gun storage and whatnot. Yeah, security cameras.
So you can't
Insane.
be too careful up there.
No.
Absolutely insane. Well, yeah, it sounds like you guys had a hell of a trip and a hell of a year. Anything on the plans for the future? You know, any New Zealand trips or?
I've got in a couple of months. In a couple of months, I'm heading over to Kyrgyzstan, chasing ibex.
Fuck yeah, now. Beautiful. Through,
So that'll be-
did you line that up through Ben Solaris as well?
No, that was good mate Stack is he kind of organised that hunt for us.
Yeah,
He
awesome.
wanted to do it, and he wanted a companion to tag along. So yeah, I put my hand up.
Amazing. Well, we'll have to get you back on after you do that. I'd be keen to chat all about that. That sounds like
Yeah, I dare say that's going to be one hell of an adventure.
just if you go to Saudi, don't do what Cody did. He hopped in some random's car and got taken into the middle of nowhere, and then he got robbed about $3,000. So yeah, don't just jump into random taxis, especially if they're not signed taxis.
Yeah, copy that.
Okay, bloody hell.
Oh,
Sorry,
poor
Cody.
buggers.
Had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one before. He's kept that quiet.
Oh yeah, so yeah, he's got over to when he went to Eastern Europe to go chase brown bear. Yeah, he's gone through Saudi and hopped out the airport, and there was a fella in an unmarked taxi, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll take you to your hotel." And Cody's like, "Oh yeah, no worries, all right." And then he drove him for like 40 minutes outside the city and pulled up at a random ATM and stood over the back of him and told him what buttons to press, and yeah, ended up being about $3,000, and then drove him down the road, told him to get out. And
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
That's wild.
yeah, so don't do that.
Right, moral of the story, don't jump in blacked out taxis.
Yeah, questionable looking cars.
Oh no, that's awesome, man. And Brett, so and you're looking at New Zealand next, or?
Yeah, there's a toss up. I am going back to the same spot for a floodplain buff.
Yeah,
next
beautiful.
Year. And going to have the family come up, and we're all going to go on a fishing charter while we're up there over at Dundee Beach. But I've already pretty much got booked in, and yeah, so I'll spend a couple of days on my own up Coburg, get one of these floodplain buffs hopefully, and then I'll meet up with them and we'll go fishing for a week, whatever. And then there's possibility of Canada and New Zealand.
Oh, Canada, amazing!
I've actually got access in Canada, so
beautiful. What elk? Is that what you're chasing?
Elk, black bear. It depends what time I go to what the season is, but there's elk, black bear, whitetail. And that's pretty much it. I really would love mule deer, but there's no mule deer at this area, so.
That's amazing.
I got the invite to go out there by a new mate that I've met here, actually. They actually came here to my house in the middle of friggin' nowhere to meet me. And they're friends of a friend, and they hung out here for a day, and they sort of made me an offer I really can't refuse, to be honest. So,
well, that's awesome.
We'll see how that goes.
We'll have to get you on after that as well, by the sounds of it.
If it happens, I'd rather go up the top of New Zealand and chase a tar and chamois, but we'll see what happens. Time and money.
Both of it would be amazing.
It's time and money. And I've got a job I've got to try and keep too.
Yeah. No, I could imagine. Did you want to give out any shout outs to the outfitter you were out with, or?
Yeah, bloody Walkabout Safaris. There's Steve Bunn, who's a traditional owner, and traditionally he's grown up there his whole life. He knows the country at the back of his hand, and he ran a real professional, really good outfit. And you get on to booking that Silent Pursuits. They're on Instagram, website, whatever. Ben Solaris. So hit him up, and he'll make it the whole process extremely easy. because I'm quite illiterate sort of bloke, and yeah, he lined it up very easy for me. So very straightforward. Everything was taken care of, and there's no mishaps along the way. Everything was just exactly how it was printed out. So I would definitely do the same with them again in the future.
That's great to hear. So yeah, go check it out. Ben's a bloody top bloke, and yeah, he deals with hunts all around the world. So
He's
not just
knowledgeable on it. You won't find anyone that knows more than him about it. So
no, so passionate. Like he's just
that's
such
his
a,
life.
Yeah,
such
we
a
actually
good
met him in the airport as we were flying out of Darwin. He was flying in.
Oh,
So you got to
that's
see the
awesome.
mad bugger again.
Yeah, I got to meet him for the first time, so that was cool.
That's so good. Well, anyway, fellas, thank you for jumping on. I know you're only a few days out from getting back.
Yeah, we got back on late Friday night.
It was after midnight. I still haven't friggin' stopped.
No, and I only got back to home late last night.
Crazy.
So,
Well, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come on and have a chat and share the stories of your hunts that you've had this year and the hunt
No,
hunt
been a
over in
pleasure.
NT. So really appreciate it. And Jasper, I'll have to get you back on and have a one-on-one podcast and dive deep into your hunting experiences. And yeah,
no, sounds good. Looking forward to it.
where can people find you guys on social media to give you a follow if they don't follow you guys already?
I'm on Instagram is my main platform, Jasper Dulhunty Outdoors. And then, yeah, most of my content, journalism content, can be found in Sporting Shooter magazine.
Beautiful. I'll look forward to reading that and looking out for it. And Brett?
No, it's Brett.
He's not
Meldrum,
honest.
085 on Insta and the Aussie Bay Hunter on YouTube. There'll be a fair few videos come out of this trip, so it won't be straight away, but I will. I've been freaking busy and slack on it, but I will be putting out local hunts that I've got already edited up. I've got to start uploading, and in the meantime, to get everyone keen again before the old banteng or NT series comes out.
Awesome. How long till that comes out? Because I'm hanging.
Oh, that's on me. I've got.
There's a lot of stuff we have to do with that, so I mean, don't hold your breath right now, but it'll be a few months, I'd say.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it'll be a three-part video series. Brett's part will be published on his YouTube, and probably the other 2 parts will be on the Sporting Shooter YouTube.
Amazing. So good. Well, thank you guys. I'll let you go. I won't keep you up too much longer. I see Brett's getting tired, falling asleep back there.
I've been to Sydney and back today. I'm getting a bit tired.
Yeah, you're a crazy fella, Brett. You're always on the go.
You got to be, mate. You got to be.
That's it. I appreciate it, guys, and I'll let you go. Thank you very much. Catch us
Thanks for
later.
having us.
Anytime. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Hunting Connection Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed our discussions and gained valuable insights into the world of hunting, fishing, and the outdoors. To stay connected with us and never miss out on an update, please be sure to follow us on social media, all at Hunting Connection Podcast. We appreciate your support and would love for you to share the podcast with your friends and family. Don't forget to tag us in your hunting photos on social media and let us know about your experiences. Your feedback is invaluable to us, so please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Together, we continue growing and delivering more captivating episodes for all hunting enthusiasts. Stay connected, stay informed, and keep pursuing your passion for the hunt. Until next time, happy hunting.